USA Today is trying to get me censored on social media. A writer who you've probably never heard of, her name is Abby Patkin, wrote an article for USA Today in which she claimed that a tweet of mine deserved a fact check. First of all, this was my tweet, and I quote myself. California Governor Newsom bans gatherings of 10 plus people, but attends a party with dozens of people. Mayor Lightfoot locks down Chicago again, but celebrates Biden with crowds in the streets. Pelosi hosts a giant reception while you are not allowed. Are people really okay with this hypocrisy? End quote. Patkin rated my tweet as follows. Based on our research, we rate this claim as missing context. It's true, she says, that some politicians have acted contrary to the social distancing and stay-at-home practices they are preaching, though Pelosi did not end up hosting a giant reception as Wheeler's tweet claimed. End quote. So let's get one thing straight. Nothing I said in that tweet was untrue. And USA Today admitted that even while they slapped a phony fact check on my tweet. This is what they wrote about the 3 specific claims I made in that tweet. Newsom did, in fact, attend a November 6th birthday party at a restaurant with a dozen friends, not dozens, as Wheeler's tweet claims, despite urging Californians to resist the temptation to socialize. Likewise, Lightfoot did join a crowd celebrating President-elect Joe Biden's win on November 7th, later issuing a voluntary stay-at-home advisory on November 12th. Pelosi was set to host a dinner November 13th for newly elected House Democrats, but turned it into a takeout meal after backlash. Earlier that day, Pelosi had urged people to heed guidance on isolation and separation, according to the Washington Post. In other words, USA Today confirms that everything I said in my tweet was true, and yet they rated my tweet as missing context anyway. USA Today is a joke. Lacking context? I'm sorry, it's a 280-character tweet. I thought I aptly summarized the situation with remarkable clarity for such a short amount of space. So let's recap. Again, everything I said is provably true. USA Today and Abby Patkin are partisan hacks pretending that truth isn't true because the truth reflects badly on Democrats. I think that's what we call propaganda, not journalism. What a bunch of frauds, and it makes you wonder, did Gavin Newsom himself, Lori Lightfoot, and Nancy Pelosi write this ridiculous article together under some invented pseudonym? Because surely nobody would telegraph to the world what an utter fool they are by writing such obvious lies under their own name. And that brings us to a very important point. Why would USA Today publish such garbage? Why would Abby's editor let her make such a fool of herself? She's been universally ridiculed for this article. Nobody is ever going to take anything she says seriously ever again. Why? Why do they do this? These fact-checking outfits don't do this just for kicks. They do it in partnership with Facebook in order to censor conservatives while letting Facebook look like Facebook is keeping their hands clean. And anytime any conservative is faced with a phony fact check, our pages are penalized. Our reach is reduced, our organic distribution of our content is squashed, and we are demonetized. And yet Facebook sits there like a mob boss, I kept my hands clean, while silly little writers like Abby Patkin do their dirty work for them. I've been facing this myself for months on Facebook, coincidentally since shortly before the election. And it's not just USA Today acting as the thought police. My Facebook page is under active violation thanks to a phony fact check by an outfit called Lead Stories, an outfit funded by Facebook itself, by Google, and by a Chinese company called ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, by the way, which means controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. How's that for context? It's important to understand this strategy employed by leftists to silence conservatives. They will not be so bold as to pass laws banning our free speech outright, but they will use big tech and so-called fact-checkers funded by Chinese communist-controlled entities to squash us and prevent you from hearing the truth. The truth is, my tweet barely scratched the surface of how many dishonest, hypocritical Democrats have imposed mandates and lockdowns, have shut down your businesses, prohibited you from seeing your family or going to church, only to violate their own tyrannical dictates. So let's add the full context USA Today seems to crave. In addition to California Governor Gavin Newsom, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who, yes, canceled her planned banquet, but only after massive backlash from us, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio went to the gym just hours before the state shut down all gyms. And he knew it was going to be shut down. He went on purpose one more time before it was closed. Austin Mayor Steve Adler told people to stay home. Then he attended a wedding and then flew on a private jet to a vacation in Mexico. San Francisco Mayor London Breed, likewise, dined indoors at a swanky restaurant just days before she prohibited you from doing the same thing, from dining indoors. San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo told people to cancel Thanksgiving gatherings this year. Then he was caught at a Thanksgiving gathering with his own family members who were not part of his household. LA County Supervisor Sheila Kuhl voted to ban outdoor dining in Los Angeles, calling it dangerous. But just hours later, after this vote, she was spotted dining outdoors at a restaurant in Santa Monica. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock was spotted in an airport traveling for Thanksgiving literally 30 minutes after he warned citizens to avoid traveling. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser did not quarantine after she returned from Joe Biden's victory speech in Delaware, even though she is forcing, by mandate, everybody else to quarantine when they return from traveling to Delaware. Senator Dianne Feinstein was caught not wearing a mask while within 6 feet of a group of other people, even though Feinstein has called for a national mask mandate. Oregon Governor Kate Brown was a huge proponent of the massive Black Lives Matter protests in her state this year, yet, at Thanksgiving, she told you to uninvite your family for dinner. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney was caught dining indoors without a mask in Maryland, while dining indoors in Philadelphia was prohibited. And that, USA Today, that is what we call full context. You should try it sometime.